Hey guys, Joe from Cincinnati here, and I got 12 games from the second season of the Discord League tournament. It was a round robin tournament, so I was put in a group with 7 other people, and we each had to play, each person once, and, we had, let's see here, the top 2 of the pod go on to the cup, as they call it, which is like the finals, like the top 64. And then the third and fourth place get into what they call a wild card, which is kind of like a 3-round Swiss playoff that will fill out the remaining spots of the top 64, however many there may be. I think there's like 20 groups or something like that, so that means like 40 top spots. That means you're filling in 24 top 64 with a wild card. So that's how they're going to do it, and this is my first game in that 7-game trip. This was back at the beginning of December. I played these games kind of rapid fire for the most part, between December 4th and December 12th. I had a hard cutoff right around Christmas because my wife was getting off of school, and the Christmas holiday was coming around the corner that I had a lot, family time and everything like that. So I kind of jammed these games all in at the same time. So the deck didn't change all that much, but it still changed here and there. You'll see Crisis Breakers leaking into the deck and things like that, and then Iron Mines leaking in at the very end there. So with no further ado, let's take a look at the first round. So the first round was against a guy named Finster. He's a crab player. I think this is his first season playing in the Discord League. I may be wrong, but I don't recall him being in the last round. So anyway, I get a pretty good start here. I get my Witch Hunter and my 1-coster, which is what I want. And then I get a Keeper Monk, which is just fantastic as well, because why not have a Keeper Monk? And then I mulligan Casada, and I get a second Witch Hunter, which I wasn't going to buy anything from that point anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but it's just a nice thing to have the next round, possibly. The Witch Hunters are basically, I'm never, ever unhappy to see a Witch Hunter. So, I got 2 of them. I got the Heated Guardian. And so now I'm looking at my hand. This is back when I was still running Fine Katanas. I've since removed them. Not because there's anything wrong with them, per se, but just, they're just a bland strength boost. I don't really feel the need to run them anymore, just because I have better things to do with my conflict deck. Alright, so I top deck a charge, which is fantastic for me, because I have 2 Witch Hunters, so I could even, just not buy a Witch Hunter, or I could bring a Witch Hunter in and then sacrifice it to stand someone else, things like that. So it's my turn to play from provinces. He has an Intimidating Hida, a Shrewd Yasuki, a Shuichi, and a Heated Guardian. But he doesn't have any actual holdings, so he doesn't have all that much to do. He's just gonna open with the double Heated Guardian. We're both playing with Way of the Crab in mind, obviously. And then I go ahead and purchase a Witch Hunter with 2 Fate, as per usual. That's what you do. You buy Witch Hunters with 2 Fate. That's how you play the game. So I'm waiting for him to pass or play in action, and he plays Shuichi with 1 Fate, which already is like, ooh man, I am thinking about hitting Ring of Void right here. That's what I'm thinking about. Because if I can get that Fate off of Shuichi right off the bat, I can clear his board. He can't do anything to me. I bid 2. I already have the charge. I already have a Bonsai and a Skirmisher, so I already have what I need to do what I want in this round. Based on what he plays. So I'm not really concerned per se about getting too many more cards in my hand at the moment, and then I top deck 2 more charges. And this has been a minor controversy in the Discord League, as people are accusing Jigoku of clumping, You know, like you see multiples of the same card over and over again. I think it's odd that I get 3 charges in sequence, like charge, 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 because the first charge was the last card that I mulliganed. So, you know, my deck, I drew 2 cards, shuffled it, and then the top 2 cards after shuffling it were the other 2 charges. Someone could do a statistical thing for the likelihood of that. I'm not going to do that, but you know, it's noticeable. You know what I mean? It's noticeable. So I'm sitting here. I have a Witch Hunter and a Heated Guardian, and I'm trying to decide: do I do Void first or do I do Earth first? Because Earth gets me the Keeper Monk, which is nice. But Void makes it so that I can clearing his board. So these are the decisions I have to make. And I end up just passing my conflict. See what he does. This is the downside of being first player. Is being first player, you're just forced to play reactively rather than proactively, because they get 2 more attacks after you attack, and they end the round with an attack. So the thing is, he has let's see what here. What am I doing? All right, he has 2 fate, or he has 1 fate now. So I couldn't attack with the Witch Hunter and then sacrifice the Heated Guardian, because if he has Way of the Crab, then I'm just done. You know what I mean? So playing around Way of the Crab makes this a little more difficult. So he's attacking with his 2 stealths on Earth, and he hits Fertile Fields. Obviously I can't defend it, but I will draw a card. And you know, he's breaking 4-0 at the moment. So I do the obvious thing and I charge in the Witch Hunter. Now I'm pretty confident that I can win this because I have a Bonsai, I have my Stronghold, and he only has 4 cards at hand. So, you know, there's a chance that he can do something. He plays a Fine Katana, which is fine. So I just... So here are the two things that I'm probably thinking at this point. This game was played a while ago. So I'm trying to decide, like, I can use my Stronghold to delay and see if he's trying to break, because he's winning 6-4 right now, but he's not breaking yet. So theoretically, I could just, like, use my Stronghold to waste an action, like waiting for him to reveal his true intentions. And if he passes, then I can Bonsai, because if he passes, that means he does not have what's necessary to break the province. So that means he probably doesn't have a Bonsai. So by waiting to do that Stronghold action and seeing what he does in return, I can kind of gauge what's in his hand to a degree. I don't know if I do it here. I probably don't, because hindsight is always 20/20. But I'm probably just going to play the Bonsai. But that is an avenue of playing that you should explore, is like wasting actions, or not wasting them per se, but just kind of like expending actions to see what your opponent is capable of before committing something like a Bonsai. Because if I Bonsai and then he just Bonsais back, I basically wasted a Bonsai. Whereas if I Stronghold and then he Bonsais, then I can decide from there, you know, is it worth my time to let it break, or should I Bonsai in return? It's less unknown information. So that said, he only has 3 cards in hand, so I just Bonsai, just to see what he's got. So I'm winning now. Which, if I were to win this, that'd be fantastic, because then I get a Keeper Monk and I get a Fate. We'll see what happens. That's the con of Crab on Crab, is we both kind of want to do the Earth Ring, especially since he bid low. And he passed. Ooh, man. So he passed, and I can react to gain a Fate, and I react to get a Keeper Monk. So now I'm immune to Way of the Crab now. So I get the Fate, and I immediately put Spyglass on my Witch Hunter. So just for clarification, his attack allowed me to get a Keeper, get a Fate for a Spyglass, which is going to give me is likely going to give me 2 more cards this round. So now I do the Military Void. I trigger my Spyglass, and I'm getting a Fine Katana, which is fine with me. More security in terms of breaking this. And I display, I run into, what is this? Stupid light. Hold on. Elemental Fury. Okay, so he changes it to water, which is fine to me because then I can stand my Witch Hunter and stuff. But you know, it's not great. I would have preferred to do a void, but you can't always have what you want. So he's defending, but I'm still breaking, and he attaches another Fangatana. So this guy, he had 4 cards in hand, and he's already spent 2 katanas. And this goes back to what I was saying before. If I had just strongholded in that last round, you know, it was 6-4. If I had strongholded, that puts me a 5. He would have gone to 8. There's a chance I could have baited that katana out of his hand. There's a chance. There's a small chance I could have baited that katana out of his hand if I had done the stronghold before the bonsai. But now I'm attacking and this is about the time that a bunch of people in the Discord Crab Clan chat started messaging me saying like, "Ah, you have a private game we want to watch." So I attach a fine katana, so I'm back to breaking. But I forgot about his stronghold. So he probably just does stronghold here. Yeah. Make me feel like a wee bit of an idiot. But I'll policy debate him. I'm at Ornate Fan and Court Games. Just make him discard an Ornate Fan. Court Games is fine. But it's not really anything impressive against Crab. Like, Crab to Crab is just not anything that does anything. And here I go. I sacrifice the guy to stand my own guy. And then, like, I realize, like, oh, I passed my first conflict. Fucking sucks. So, at the end of the round, neither of us broke a province. I won both rings. I get the favor. And I have a slightly better board than him. You know, I would have loved to ring avoid his Shuichi there, but Elemental Fury came up. Elemental Fury is not something you often see in Crab. So, that was a little surprising, but it was a good moment for him to have it. I play a Heated Guardian to his Heated Guardian, and then he gets another Shuichi, which is frustrating, because it's like, I could have voided away that Shuichi, now he has another Shuichi for another round, but then he doesn't do it. Like, why didn't he do it? Why didn't he do that? That must have been a play mistake. I think that was the play mistake. There's no reason not for him to do it, because I passed first. So he should have just added the Fate to Shuichi. That's odd. That's odd. That's odd. That's odd. Alright. But anyway. You see, I passed early because I have 2 charges, and I have a Shuichi, and I have a Skirmisher, and an Intimidating Hida. So I'm fine on board state at this point. My first conflict, yeah, I kind of want to do Void just to block him from doing Void, because he can just jam in any military conflict he wants with Kasada. So I kind of want to do a Void just to block his Void, really. And I commit 3 people to it because I have the Witch Hunter to stand himself. So I'm not ultra concerned about having characters, especially considering I have 2 charges. So he defends the Heated Guardian. So it's my 8 to his 1. And I pass, and I break, and I remove a Fate from Kasada. But really, the reason I did that is so that he couldn't remove a Fate from my Witch Hunter. That was the big thing. And then I stand the Witch Hunter, as is tradition. Now I drew a Watch Commander from hand. This is the issue I have with Watch Commander. I mentioned in earlier videos, although that video was played after this game, but I mentioned in earlier videos that I posted before, I removed Watch Commander from my deck precisely because of this scenario, where my opponent has 11 honor. It would take so much work for that Watch Commander to actually be worth something. You know what I mean? Like, I understand that, as the game goes on, it makes it harder for them to bid higher if you're just slowly chipping away at their honor. But the dude has 2 cards in hand. He has 11 honor. I have a guy with 1 honor or 1 fate left, so he's lasting 2 rounds theoretically. Obviously there's ways to make it last longer, but if I put a watch commander on him and I attack with him, he only has 2 cards, so at most he's losing 2 honor this round, and then he's probably going to bid 1 or 2 next round anyway, because it seems like he's playing a dishonor build, based on the fact that he's bid 1 twice in a row now. So Watch Commander really is not doing anything in this game, which is fine because it'll theoretically do things in other games, but this is why I ultimately removed it. Although, it could go back into my deck at a certain point, but this is why I removed it at the time, because there are a lot of games where it's just not relevant at all. So he's attacking here with Shuichi, and he hits Rally to the Cause. I just changed it with military because now I can charge if I need to, and I do. I charge in Shuichi to get a free fate. And now I can just stronghold to get over him. Right? Yeah, 5 to 6. So now he has to decide if he wants to play one of his 2 cards from hand. And he just Funeral Pyres his Bowed guy. And I guess he top decked the Bonsai, which is fine, which is great. So now I have a choice. I can charge in my other Intimidating Hida to block this Fire Ring, but I don't. I decide not to. So he, what does he do here? He dishonors Shuichi. So now it's becoming a little more obvious that he's definitely doing a dishonor theme, because there's no reason to dishonor Shuichi other than just making me lose the honor. Now this is the issue I have with hard dishonor decks, like the decks that just their entire purpose is honoring. Why the hell did I pass my conflict? Did I just pass? Oh, Joe, you're such a fool. It's amazing how often you can watch yourself play and just think you are such a dumbass. Why did I do that? Why did I pass the conflict when I just had a guy who could go in and attack? Joe. I drive myself crazy sometimes. So, I bid 2 to his 1, so yeah, he's definitely doing dishonor. The problem is I'm first player, so I can always just do an air conflict if I wanted to. Will I do it? Probably not, because I'm bad at this game, but I could always do it. So I do an earth conflict of 7. Interesting choice by me, I suppose. So I'm going at his, what is this, Shameful Display? Yeah, Shameful Display. So I have a charge in my pocket if I need it, but it's not like I really have a good charge target right now. The Magistrate is just a 2/2, especially on attack. So he defends with just the Guardian, which is surprising, because I would think that he would want to stop the break, but he chose not to. So I break and I just get a keeper back, which is fine with me, and I draw a Mountain Does Not Fall. And then, here we go, he randomly discards a Backhanded Compliment. So now it's becoming clear what his deck is doing. He's doing the Backhanded Compliment, get him down to 3 honor, and then backhanded to win deck. I think this is at the time when Backhanded Compliment had just come out. This is December 4th. So that was pack, is that pack 3? Pack 3 had just come out. So Backhanded Compliment, I think, was in pack 3. So he was probably just testing it out. I don't know if he should be testing decks during the league, but it seems like what he's doing. So At this point, he has 2 broken provinces to my none. He does have a Shuichi that's lasting until the end of the round, but everything else is going away as of right now. I have Fate advantage, I have Hand advantage. I don't have Honor advantage, which is why I should have done the stupid air ring. He's probably going to do it. Yeah, he did the air ring and he gets 2 free Fate. Again, like, dumbass Joe making dumbass decisions. I hope you guys learn from my decisions on this, because I fuck up, like, all the time. Like, it's kind of insane how many times I just, like, randomly fuck up on these decisions that I do during these games. So he court games me, and I dishonor that guy. I didn't want to dishonor the Envoy because then when he leaves, I go down to 4, and I didn't really want to dishonor that guy because he's staying around longer. So he has a Way of the Crab and another court games. So I discard the court games because he doesn't have a good Way of the Crab target right now. So I'm not really afraid of that. And the court games is just another dishonor that I'd have to take in. So I'm winning. So I just, what I do? Mountain does not fall on the Intimidating Hida. So I win, which is a shame because I should have declared it. And then I do a political water conflict just to basically force his Kasada to defend. Because if he doesn't defend, then I just bow his Kasada, and then it's no longer a threat to attack me. Of course, he doesn't defend, and I bow his Kasada. So I think that, you know, I'm not sure really what the mindset was, per se. I think that we're both making a variety of mistakes here. I think that he should have at least tried to defend, but maybe he just felt like it was purposeless. I'm not sure. So, we're going in. He has a Dishonored Shuichi, I have an Intimidating Hida, and a Dishonored Keeper Initiate. And then he Way the Crabs. So this is the thing. He Way the Crabbed his 1 Fate Shuichi to get rid of my Fateless Keeper Monk just for me to lose the Dishonor. Just for me to lose the Honor. And then he top decks Witch Hunter and 3 Holdings. So he has 1 card in hand, and it's just not looking good for him. So he buys the Witch Hunter with 0 Fate. He has 8 Fate remaining, but only 3 cards in hand. He still bid 1 because he's basically, his only prayer is to dishonor me at this point. But it's becoming kind of like a lost cause. I play a Wayfinder just to check what his stronghold is, and it is Night Raid. And I just tell him, like, tricky. He's like, it was, now not so much. So I know that I just have to basically waste an attack on him, on his stronghold, discard 1 card, and then go in my big attack for the win after he does something, which I don't really care about. He can literally do anything to me, and it won't matter. So he is declaring a conflict of some kind, although I don't recommend it. He's passing his conflict. So he passes his conflict. I do a political air of 1, just to deny the air ring from him, and maybe force him to defend. He doesn't defend, so I get 2 honor back. So, like, his strategy is torpedo at this point. He can't get 6 honor off me before I break his province, break his stronghold, and he cannot break 4 provinces before I break his 1. So, you know, it was just I have a feeling, and I've seen Finster play since now, and he ended up doing pretty well in the group. After when all's said and done, I think this is his first game. I do think that this is just an exploration deck. Like he was like, oh, does the backhanded compliment deck work? And then he played this game and realized it basically doesn't. Which is a shame because I like the idea of the Dishonor Bomb, but I just don't think it's there. the card draw is too intense. Like, you need to draw too many cards for it to work. Like, I don't know if he runs Levy in this deck, but if he did, then that's 6 cards that are not going to do anything the turn that you draw them. And if you're drawing them one card by one card, like, obviously you have storehouses and Shudyasukis and funeral pyres and things like that to kind of supplement that draw, but shoehorning yourself into only bidding 1 every turn because you're trying to dishonor your opponent is just really hard to get around. You know what I mean? So, and like I said, he has 6 cards, maybe at least 3 cards, maybe 6 cards in his deck that don't do anything until the final round, because you don't want to initiate the honor bomb until it wins you the game. You know what I mean? So if you have like 2 levies and 3 backhanded compliments, you need to wait for them to get to 5 honor and no fate before you can win with those cards. If you try and like piecemeal them throughout the deck, throughout the game, you give them time to like take the air ring or take the fire ring, or, you know, bid lower, like adjust their strategy to accommodate for that. So it's just it's tough. It's not something that you can really do with any consistency, in my opinion. I know that there are some players, like a Sideshow from the Discord group, who was doing a Dishonor type deck with Scorpion Splash, and he seemed to have at least a monicum of success with it. But I don't know if that's consistent enough in the big picture to be something that you want to do. So anyway, I wasn't really commentating on the game at this point because it's basically over. I just did a big military attack. He defended, he couldn't stop it, and I won. So that is the first game in the books. I think we talked for like another 2 minutes here. Is there anything going on these next 2 minutes? Oh yeah, the game just like makes me, it just like makes you keep playing. So like I broke his stronghold, but then it just like said like going on to the next round, and like it made us go to the fate phase and everything like that. So we were just kind of having a good time about that. But anyway, that was the first round of my Discord League. I'm 1-0, so that was a good start. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next round.